Don't say anything inflammatory. We're recording immediately because Chase has a hot story to tell us. Kevin, good to see you. Can you hear me? Kevin is. I really jumped into the recording. What? I can hear you now. What happened?
I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't like having my microphone and my headphone in at the same time.
All right.
No.
Do you hear badly right now?
Huh?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me okay, or do you need to?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's for some reason quieter than I think it should be.
I've got a feeling this headphone thing is a you problem.
Yeah, it definitely is a me problem.
Okay, do you want us to let you solve it?
No, that's good. I'm good now. I figured it. I didn't figure it out the way I wanted, but I figured it out in a way that'll work.
Hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off Kevin's. Oh, his echo cancellation is on. Good. All right. We're good then. I think everything's fine. Chase has a story, everybody. Everybody gather around. Chase has a story.
Yeah, it's not a wild story. It's just so I've been talking about this Eddie Murphy project that will come out at some point whenever I become a fucking documentarian randomly, right? And so this is what happened. I end up watching all this Eddie Murphy footage, and I get really focused in on Johnny Carson, right? Sure. I show a cut of it to Travis, and I realize it's like 4 minutes into this fucking thing before I even mention Eddie Murphy. I'm just sucking off Johnny Carson for the whole time, right? And so I was like, well, shit, it would be a better idea is if I made this like a series of like, here's Johnny Carson, and then here's all the comics, and this is their iconic moment on their show, and kind of do that and do like each episode about like a different comedian, right? And so I've been having this idea and I've been kicking it around. And working on it is basically just me watching 1968 Fryer roast and then being like, I did something, but really I haven't actually done any. I just keep adding shit to a folder. And so I'm listening to Bill Simmons' podcast, right? And I'm mad at Bill Simmons right now because he feels like my Pelicans should trade Brandon Ingram and not have him and Zion just grow together and be this great tandem. And I'm fucking furious about it, right? So, but I'm finally like, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to listen to him this week. Trade deadline's coming up. Wanted to hear what his dumb opinions were, if he's going to trade any more of my favorite players. And then at the end of it, him and Ryan Russillo just go like, hey, what you been doing? And Bill Simmons goes, man, I've been watching old Johnny Carson episodes. I've just really got into it. and then he starts launching into this whole, like, I think I'm about to start reading a bunch of books, stuff about it. I really like this time in Hollywood, which is exactly, at work, I've been listening to audiobooks of Carson. I've been listening to old interviews and shit like that. That's exactly what I've been doing. But here's the thing. I don't own the Ringer. And I know the way this motherfucker works is whenever he gets interested in something like this, 3 months from now, a project's going to come out. And so now I feel like I'm in a race with Bill Simmons to put out my thing that's going to get 40 views. And hey,
I'll be one of those views.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And and so now I'm in a race with Bill Simmons is what I want to say, because I know now that the owner of the Ringer is thinking about Johnny Carson at the same time I am. And this motherfucker made 30 for 30. So, like, yeah. I know he's going to goddamn get there before me. And so, yeah, I might put out a shitty version just to be like, I fucking beat him there. And I'm showing receipts. I was my co-host on my other podcast, Josh. I've been talking to him through like this whole thing of it. And even with him, I was like, I'm such a fucking lunatic. I was like, I've been talking about this for a while, right? Like you've heard, like, it's like, dude, what do you think's happening? Do you think so hilarious. I'm flustered. I'm flustered about it, but now I'm motivated. I got to finish. Plus I talked about it too much.
The question is Bill Simmons going to make a documentary or a podcast dedicated to Johnny Carson,
So this is my other thought is I'm going to put out this little series. It's going to be so fucking great. And I'm going to spam Bill Simmons with it. And then he's going to be like, wow, you should host my new Johnny Carson podcast. And we're going to be best of friends is the way that I see this. That's the way I guess I have to take it now.
I just want to point out that in this fantasy of yours where Bill Simmons offers you a podcast, you bring neither us or Josh Watts with you to the Ringer. You just fucking ditch us completely. You leave us behind.
Yeah, no, he is that gravy train has only got one seat.
Casey who? Josh who? Kevin who? I only know Bills these days. I know
like
Johnny's, I know Eddie's, and I know Bills.
He's either going to have a new podcast out of this, or he's just going to call us up frantically, covered in Bill Simmons' blood. Like, I don't know what happened. He wasn't giving me credit, so I had to kill him.
It's going to be blood or a different bodily fluid. Oh man, I have a thing like this kind of, which is I have this joke that I realized over the pandemic. Another comedian is doing a joke like it and has released it on video in a more formal form than I have. And I know that I told this joke in front of this person. Ooh. And I know, we'll still talk about it off the podcast because we've reconciled a little bit. But I also know that this person was very close to flipping their material over when I told it in front of them. And I started going through, I had like this kind of insane, I have a little bit of a compulsive thing where I record every single set. And I thought that I had a version of every set that I've done except for about like 5 or 6. However, I had a period where I lost, like a computer fucked up, and I think I lost about 15 months worth of sets. This, of course, falls in that period of sets. I had a rooftop comedy recording of the set. I have it, but one thing I do have is this joke on a set list on my phone for that's labeled the headliner who isn't this guy, the headliner this date. Like I know that.
Okay.
And I have the joke on there. And
so
then
one receipt.
That's one receipt, but I don't know if that one stands up in court. What would really stand up in court is if I have a recording of myself telling the joke and then introducing that comic, which at some point in the world, that recording did exist, but does not appear to exist anymore. So I'm like, can I at least go find the oldest version I have on video of me telling this joke? And I found one from like late 2016. And when I worked with this comic was like early 2018. And I realized even if I know dead to rights that he stole this from me completely, which I don't actually believe, I don't want to show this fucking video of me in 2016. Like, this is not good evidence for me as a comedian, as me in 2016 in a fucking dingy basement, poorly telling this joke. Kevin could not be less impressed, by the way. He does not realize we're on video. He's giving me up. He's literally fucking texting his wife right now.
What do you want from me, man?
He's putting in a goddamn Instacart. I want some empathy.
To be honest, you're taking too long to get to the point. You're losing the audience, man.
Oh, you fucking piece of shit. Chase, did you see what he's referring to?
I do know about this. I did see.
Okay.
I assumed you were going to bring it up, Nat, and yeah.
You know what? Let's bring it up. Let's go straight to that because I have a couple other things to talk about today that are not sports related. But on fucking TikTok, this piece of shit, I get, by the way, this video has like 230,000 views. It's doing great. It's got like 10,000 likes on it. By the way, there's 52 comments and 51 of the comments are basically positive.
Yeah.
And this one guy this morning, this is the fragility of a fucking comedian's ego, by the way. 51 comments that are positive, 10,000 likes, 230,000 views. And this guy says, it's just fucking so funny. He goes, more humor, less stories. You're taking too long. You're losing the crowd or something like that, which is hilarious. Objectively, it's hilarious to put on something that's recorded in front of a live audience. To say that I'm losing the crowd when there's a recording of me not losing the crowd is objectively very funny.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I would delete my TikTok after that. Like, that would wreck me too. I would be shocked.
Also, the guy didn't have the attention span for a 60-second video. I mean, you just
I know.
Oh, that's how long? It's only a minute?
It's 54 seconds long. It's part 1 of 2.
Not even a minute.
Yeah, it's and it's one of those things where you're like, I'm like, there's like 4 big laughs in it, and then like several small laughs. You know, in 54 seconds, 4 big laughs.
Check the last per minute. Okay,
Yeah,
check it
you
out.
piece of shit. Like, even if I'm getting partial credit on the small laughs, like, I'm like, God damn, man, what do you want out of me? Like, I'm fucking,
No, dude.
I'm doing a brunch show in Tacoma on a, you know, coming out of a pandemic. I can't get a little grace on 20 seconds of tension building at the beginning of this joke.
Once you cut that fat out, dude. All fun. What if it's all punchlines? Did you ever think of that? Just constant punchlines?
What if they made the whole plane out of the punchline, you know?
Exactly.
That is funny. My mutual friend of ours, Gabe Rutledge, sent me, what I've really liked about this period of time where like Todd Royce, local comedian, has turned into like a fucking internet celebrity. And
I was trying to
like,
explain that to Travis.
Oh yeah, you should. My favorite thing is that when we are fully out of this pandemic, still nobody in the area is gonna know who Todd Royce is. That's a comedian, but he's gonna sell tickets. Like, it's gonna be fucking crazy. They're gonna be like, I've never even heard of this guy. He never even did the room that I work in, and now he's fucking
he's headlining and everything. Yeah.
And Kevin and I are just gonna. Kevin and I have known him. Kevin's known him better and longer than I have, but it's gonna be. We're gonna be the fucking like those 2 dudes on the Patrice documentary that are just like his friends that called him. What did they call him? Bruiser. We're gonna fucking fucking.
I'll ride those coattails.
Yeah, you'll try. I mean,
that's why I keep doing this show. I'm hoping one of you 2 does something. Come on.
Not all in one basket. Spread it out. I see.
Right.
I see the strategy, Kevin.
Okay, so we had a couple weeks ago. There was I told the story of my shoes being stolen off my porch, and I have these 2 stories that kind of combine to be similar to that story, which is I discovered that once again the shoes that replaced those shoes have been stolen off of my porch, and they are not cool shoes. These, I will agree, are absolutely not cool. If the Sauconys were not cool shoes, these Nikes were like, they were one step above the like Pete Carroll Nikes. You know what I mean? And so they get stolen off my porch, and I'm a little aggravated because I gotta figure out another lame pair of shoes to buy. It's very annoying.
Yeah, bring them shoes inside, man.
Well,
I think it's time.
If you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside.
Exactly.
It's interesting.
You got him.
You're gonna get me because I am gonna call on you for some judgment on a later part of this that neither of you guys know about the part that's coming up. But the funny thing is, I think I said this last time, but I know for sure this is someone who's just taking these shoes to wear, because my wife has like many more expensive pairs of shoes sitting on our porch. Nobody's reselling.
What's wrong
shoes.
with y'all?
Yeah, well, first off,
put your shoes in a closet.
We've lived here for 2 years, and it's never been an issue until 3 weeks apart. You know,
dude, you keep tempting fate.
You were like an old person that's like, but this neighborhood used to be safe. We could leave our doors unlocked and our shoes outside.
Here's what I believe. I believe that if you live your life thinking that people are going to steal your shit, you live a much worse life than just letting it happen every now and then and fucking having a great story to tell on a podcast. I mean, we have to have earned plenty to make up for these shows just on these stories, or those shoes just on those
but
stories
you're
alone.
Like costing us a Foot Locker sponsorship because they know they're going to give us shoes and you're just going to get them stolen.
That's quite a promo code. Promo code larceny. So I'm like aggravated because this happened, and this day, I let my dog out in the yard, and an Amazon driver shows up to our house, and I'm like, ah, shit. Laney is the name of my dog. I'm like, Laney's in the yard. Hold on. And this Amazon driver, I like start coming out, and she like thinks that means that I want her to like rush up to our porch And I'm like, no, the dog's in the yard. And she just comes through the gate and she's like, oh, here you go. Leaves the gate wide open. Walks all the way up onto our porch with the gate open. I run past her and then she starts running. By the way, like, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm trying to fucking just keep my dog in the yard. I go sprinting to the gate. And then this is all like screen door open. I told Chase earlier I stopped using the word bitch. This isn't when I used the word bitch. But I go,
good call.
I go, close the fucking gate. What the fuck is wrong with you? Learn how to do your job. I go, and then I was like, get out of here to this lady.
Go.
My dog didn't even my dog is so stupid. She didn't even realize the gate was open, by the way. She was happily prancing around the side yard. But my wife insists that I should feel bad about this, about saying this stuff to this lady. Kevin is a dog owner and a homeowner and looks like a misogynist. So I feel like he should be on my side of this argument.
Looks can be deceiving. Dude, did you at least make the Amazon driver aware of the dog in the yard?
Before she came through the gate, I said, hold on, our dog's in the yard.
Okay.
But-
I would have
but-
at some
but-
point
hold on.
pointed to the dog. 'Cause
What?
otherwise, you just look like you're yelling at her about a fictional dog she doesn't know exists.
No, this is the thing, though. If she comes through the gate, she should be closing the fucking gate behind her.
That is manners. That's just
Yeah.
That's just her being raised
this
wrong.
series of insults you gave her too, because
Well, no, let's get to the point. I want to establish where you think we're at before you get to fucking revisionist history your way back to this being against me. Because I know that's what your goal is. Your goal is to not be on my side of this, but I think we need to establish where we're at the point where she has walked onto my porch with the gate wide open despite me yelling at her that my dog's in the yard.
yeah, I think you're not wrong in pointing out that, man, you could have made a bad situation worse for any reason, like even just for her safety.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, use nice language.
Wait,
Why do you have
we're
to
not
use
even
hurtful
there
words?
yet. We're not even there yet. We're not there yet. We're not to the point where we're fucking judging me on. I'm saying
sorry. We're not judging you by your actions.
no,
for
not
this
yet. We're not
situation.
judging. I'm talking my actions to that point where she has walked onto my porch and left the gate open behind her.
Your actions.
Casey is
up
trying
that
to
point
set up
are
like checkpoints
valid.
right now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
me being angry is okay. Me running out to tell her that my dog's in the yard, we're all right with that. And we agree that she fucked up. Are we on the same page with that? She fucked up. She should have closed the gate behind her.
Gotta
Yeah,
close
I
the
think we're all
gate.
there.
You walk into anyone's fucking yard in the world as a fucking delivery person or a guest or whatever. You don't leave the gate open behind you. What are you, stupid?
Especially if you open it. You're
Right,
the one-
exactly.
It was closed. That's how it
Exactly.
was.
Yes.
Leave things how they are.
So the maybe it's 10 seconds, but you do this for a living, lady. This isn't the first dog. It's not like you've lived a dog-free life to this point. You've never seen a dog in a yard, and holy shit, what kind of exotic animal is this that's in somebody's yard?
I assume that's on one of their training videos.
I would hope so. So then let's start with have you, Kevin, ever had another person put your dog in danger?
Oh, myself on like a weekly basis.
No, another person, not you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
Who?
happened.
Who?
My wife's uncle,
How'd you deal with it?
like a mature and rational person. I'm not on the stand here, Casey.
No.
Also, why is Chase not getting a character
Well, Chase has
question
nobody in
here?
his life that loves him or that he
There's
loves.
nothing.
So,
Is that yeah?
so yeah, like he's the dog in this scenario. Okay,
No, I mean,
so,
Right.
yeah, no, your dog is like, I wouldn't say it's like a kid because I don't have one of those and I feel no connection to children. I shouldn't say that as a public school teacher where I'm just like, yeah, fuck them. They're the future. Who gives a shit? They'll have their time. But yeah, no, I don't. I could get being mad if that happens.
Okay, and you think the way? So here's the state we're in. This woman is standing on my porch with the gate still open. I'm not talking about she's through the fence in her car and I'm fucking running her down and my dog's secured in the yard.
Mhm.
I want urgency out of this lady. I want the same
Yeah.
urgency from her as I want from me.
Have we got to the part of you yelling at her yet? Have we got
This
to
is
that?
where we're at. I'm
Okay,
gonna
we're
start
there.
yelling at her. I'm
right now,
I've started
as
yelling
she's
at her, yes.
standing on your porch.
Yes.
Right. Okay. How, like, up until this moment, how aware is she of any? Like,
She's
is
a
she like
fucking idiot.
smiling or?
She thinks, yeah, she's got her thumb literally up her ass, through her pants, up her ass.
So she's missed every bit of your energy and what's going on there.
Yes,
so
she
this
has
is
no.
this is
fucking-
hitting her out of nowhere when you call her a fucking bitch that doesn't
I
know
didn't
how
call
to do
her
her
a fucking
job,
bitch.
right?
Which
Which
I
is
let the record
exactly
show. Hey,
what you said.
strike that, jury. I will strike that from the record. That does not. I did not call her a fucking bitch. In fact, I don't think I ever actually swore at her. I might have exaggerated that I swore at her earlier in this. I said, "What are you doing?" I might have said, "What the hell?" I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Something along those lines. Learn how to do your job. And then at this point, I've closed the gate. My dog still has no idea. Yeah, like Kevin said, she has no idea that she thinks I don't even have a dog. She thinks that I've just fabricated this dog as a way of making, like, if she was a pizza delivery driver, this would be my way of getting free pizza. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I've done that many times. Is that immoral? I don't know. But I've made up
another
a fake
trial.
dog. Yeah, thank you. It's I'm not on trial for that today. So then at this point, she's through the fence, dog secured in the yard, gate closed, and I say to her, like, come on, get it together. Something like that. Like, not swearing,
Do
but
better.
You gave her a pep talk like coach
Come on.
moment.
You're
no.
better than this. You're
Yes,
better than
exactly. That. It wasn't, it was actually to shame her further. There was no intention of pepping her up in any way. I wanted to shame her. I want her to feel shame. I still stand by her feeling shame, by the way.
So you just did not want her to feel good about anything that happened for the rest
Yeah,
of the day.
why should she? Like, this. I said this to my wife. This was the argument I made to my wife. And you made the analogy between kids and dogs. And I am not one of these parents that makes people feel bad about caring about their dog. I think having a dog is great practice for having a kid. I think they're quite a bit easier, ultimately. I also think you do care about them quite a bit. I care about my dog quite a bit. But if my daughter was in the yard and not my dog, my wife would have strangled that woman on the sidewalk, okay? Like, this, we just pulled out of a daycare because my daughter got diaper rash. Like, my wife it's not like my wife is a fucking Zen master and I'm a monster, right? Like, but she has decided that this was, I went too far with the non-swearing, stern, direct talk.
As much as we're defending this, I feel like there's a Ring video somewhere of you getting banned from using Amazon service.
Listen, if there was a goddamn Ring video of it, I might have my shoes still on the porch, okay? So we might have caught that perpetrator. There's not. I don't think there is. I hope there is, because I would love to find out this woman and report her to Amazon. Okay. So I think we've declared me it's at least a mistrial, because here's the thing. I don't think it's a jury of my peers, because I want a world where I can speak directly to somebody in crisis. I can say what I mean, how I mean it. And Cavan is a man from the Pacific Northwest that can only handle passive aggressiveness. That's the most assertion he's willing to accept.
You're one of us. Like,
I know, but I
I feel like I'm like, oh
denying it.
no,
Stop
I'm like,
denying
do
it.
I greet this as aggressively as I'm?
Did you hear what I said to that? Did you hear what I said to that lady? Which is probably actually I've now adjusted down for my own innocence.
Yeah.
I can be very direct. I actually had Kevin Martinez of the Seattle Mariners once tell me that I have an East Coast vibe, which I have it tattooed on my back now.
Yeah, boy. It's a stamp of pride. I just want to point out you heavily were in charge of the narrative of that story. I will say that was.
Listen, if you can produce this witness, get her on. Call her up on the podcast right now. I'll argue with her again.
I guess I'm somewhere in between on that. I feel like if I would have recognized that she was completely oblivious, I might have said something like, hey, the fucking gate. Like, I would have done kind of quietly type thing. But then if she still wasn't getting it, then I understand getting to the next part of it. I feel like
Well,
there was just like
but you understand, I started telling her while she was still on the other side of the gate.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
She made it all the way up to my porch. That's the level of oblivious. And listen, I don't live on the fucking, like, we don't call it the grounds. It's not enormous, but there is several steps between the gate and the porch. Like, there was a lot of time for her to realize that there's something going on.
Someone's
with me,
yelling
right?
at you. Yeah, something, I need to stop because there's something happening.
I will say I have now purchased a sign to fasten to my gate that says, please close the gate. There's pets in the yard. So I would like to avoid this situation in the future, but I'm still interested in absolving my own guilt today.
Was that sign already, like, was that a pre-made sign, or did you, like, specialty have to, like, put in your instructions first? Did you go to a sign making site?
I bought it coincidentally on Amazon, and when it got delivered today, I was like, fuck, my dog is outside.
What if it's
I was hoping it was the same lady. Exactly.
It wasn't the same lady, but how
Kevin.
fucking, that would be a Curb episode if it was the same
Also,
lady.
could you get a second sign that says, "Hey, man, these aren't free shoes"?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Kevin. I think I'm on board with that.
No, I get it, man. I've had those poor reactions when your puppers are like, you feel they might even be in a little bit of danger. So
Yeah, to me it's like we can figure out if I was rude later, but I don't want to figure out.
Oh, you'll never have to talk to that lady again.
Yeah,
It's
I know. Well, that's the best part. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, like, when you're in a moment where, like, the literal the consequences, the consequence index of that is so high, which is if my dog gets out of the yard, like, we could be talking my dog is dead. This story could be my dog is dead. She killed my dog. This lady killed my dog. Okay, in my mind, she killed my dog.
I hear it.
oh man,
Attempted
the
murder of
amount
my dog,
of,
and I
like,
can't even yell at her.
culpability.
I didn't even yell. I didn't even raise my voice. I just was kind of rude. Yeah.
You just went completely from like, I think I might have done a bad to like, I am the hero in this story. I saved my dog's life. Actually,
Yeah, that's right. I jumped in front of a literal, unironic bullet for my dog, and my wife said that I overreacted. I think that she's wrong. Actually, 45 minutes later, she's like, have you changed your mind? Do you think you overreacted? And I go, no, fuck that lady. I hate her, and I hope she gets fired. Like,
Yeah. I actually feel stronger about it now. I wish I said more.
It's fermenting in me right now.
Yeah.
I also think like we should just decide that like it's not the worst thing you can do to be rude to someone.
Yes. I
Like-
agree. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of worse things you could do to someone.
Thank you. So I think we're talking like at worst, I'm looking at a fine, maybe.
I
No
think
jail
I'm
time,
good,
no
man.
probation.
I kind of
think
think
next
you're good.
time somebody says something,
think it was
shitty
just
to you on
adult
TikTok,
interaction.
just take it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We can move on to sports. We can move on to someone who seems to be increasingly less innocent, by the way.
Is that what you want to talk about? You want to talk? I don't.
I don't really want to talk about the situation because I think like if there's any sports show that's not suited to talk about Deshaun Watson's like actual potential crimes, this is the one. Like we are
Right.
not. But I think that what I do find interesting is that throughout this whole process, every show that I see, they don't even address every sports show, which they got woke. Like I thought in recent years they had gotten kind of woke,
Mhm.
and they don't even address it as though they're like, they talk about the impact on his trade value and shit like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like the timing of this is just not great for.
By the way, Kevin, if you're not aware, Deshaun Watson is now, as we record this, up to 16 lawsuits alleging sexual assault or misconduct. I don't know what they all are, and
Yeah.
there were 0 like a week ago or 10 days ago or something like that.
Well, I was looking at the document that you sent, and it was 14, so it's gone up 2 since you sent
Yeah.
it.
It's
Yeah,
updated
2
since
today. I think it's like 26 total accusations, with maybe some of the lawsuits must have multiple accusations.
then. have you heard the like conspiracy that like have you seen any of like the other side of I've seen a couple people throw out the whole thing of like
Well, hold
these
on.
are
Go ahead. I've thought through the game theory of that because the lawyer of the first accuser was a former neighbor of, I believe, now deceased former Texans owner Bob McNair. So that was where I think like the conspiratorial minds came from. What you say, what you think that and I'd love to talk through that because I think it's like silly, but you say what you think.
Oh yeah, it's not my thing. It's just I've seen a couple tweets. I've just
Chase
couple
is
people
on
just
the side
basically
of conspiracy here. He thinks
you son
these
of a
women
bitch.
are lying.
I didn't even want to fucking talk about this, and now I'm over here on this side of it. Casey, you son of a bitch. I say bitch. So there's people that think that basically like that these allegations are false, that they just got thrown out because Deshaun Watson asked for the trade and the owner doesn't want to trade him and has been very out about we're not trading him, and he's been very out about I'm not fucking playing for you. And then suddenly now 16 allegations have come up. So I have seen a fair share of people on Twitter and stuff with the whole like this is bullshit angle at it, which no.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean
16 people
So I think like the question for me on something like that is like who actually benefits from, because now Deshaun Watson is like his value dropped, I guess. Now we're doing the thing that I brought up, right? Like I get here's the thing. I want to acknowledge
for a 6th rounder now, bro.
I just want to acknowledge at first that like we are talking about the ridiculousness of these conspiracies, and I don't give a fuck about Deshaun Watson's value more than these accusations. But like from a game theory perspective, there's nobody that's benefiting from this. The Texans now have a quarterback who's hemorrhaging value. Deshaun Watson is facing, potentially jail time if any of these are criminal accusations, or at least these lawsuits. And I mean, an incredible fall from grace from a guy that people thought was like, the best, like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Right. The teams that would be trading for him now, if they do trade for him, have an absolute nightmare on their hands, right?
It's a little bit of the like Antonio Brown thing of like who wants him after all this shit that he just started,
Right. Yeah,
and also his sexual assault.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, that's actually I think it was incredibly.
Yeah.
It was like the Antonio Brown thing, and that's why the Patriots only had him for a game, right? They ended up releasing him because his sexual assault allegation, I believe, solo allegation, was enough. So of course, I don't know. I mean, we don't know the language of the contract. I don't know what the deal is in the NFL anymore, or what the rules are. But Deshaun Watson's on a pretty long-term contract. He's not a free agent. Dude, I mean, this is the other thing about that, like the Texans, this is their like ploy to keep him, or this is like the fans, these like your suggestion is that these women from like several cities are just such enormous Texans fans that they're going to accuse the starting quarterback of sexual assault. All of these massage therapists that he happens to have to go see new ones all the time, it seems like. That it's just like that is like I mean, listen, I'll go down most conspiracy roads with people. I see no winners at the end of this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's not the conspiracy you jump, like the crime you jump to like keep somebody there.
Yeah.
Maybe start with like some traffic tickets first. See what causes them to stick. You don't immediately go to 16 counts of sexual assault.
Yeah. Or just, do one count of sexual assault. Like, it had to be 16.
I mean, to be clear, I just want to put it out on record. I don't think you should have done any of them, but that's me. I tend to say 0 sexual assaults is the right amount. But
well, I mean, of the person planting. If you're planting,
Chase. Oh, sure.
You start with 1. I gotta fucking backtrack with you all the time. So, what do you think Robin Williams did to get a NC-17 rating on Mrs.
Doubtfire? That's quite a topic here.
Same number.
There is a story. there's a story that there are cuts of Mrs. Doubtfire, which I think was probably rated PG back then.
Yeah.
That could make it R or PG-13R or NC-17.
Yeah.
So NC-17, like, I don't know that I've ever actually encountered an NC-17 movie.
I don't think I have either.
That's like straight up
Yeah.
dick. And which he was.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of changing going on in that movie. So there's got to be some dick on camera, I suppose.
Do you think there's some like director's cut version of this that's got Robin Williams hanging dong?
Dude, they literally
Yeah.
say there's a rumor that there is an NC-17 version of this.
Yeah.
How can you make that
I think
movie
he killed a guy
NC-17?
with his dick. I think that's what happened. I think there
a
was
real life death.
Yeah.
Harvey Firestein or whatever his name is actually dead as a result of.
Man.
Is it Firestein? Do I have the right
Uh,
guy? I think I fucking nailed that. I think you guys didn't give me shit. You don't even know who the guy I'm talking about. Kevin, pull
I
up
don't know
the
who you,
scene.
are you talking Harvey Weinstein?
No, that's a different man. I don't know if you're trying to get back to the Deshaun Watson thing, but Harvey.
I was like, does Josh have a dad we haven't met?
Isn't that? Yeah, this is the guy, Harvey Firestein. Is he in Mrs. Doubtfire? I'm gonna send you a link, and you're gonna have to fucking play it, and we're gonna lose. We're definitely getting taken down over this, but hang on. Yeah, he's the fucking. It's like his cousin or whatever. Come on, Kevin. This is
Come
usually
on,
the movie guy
guys.
here.
I heard a similar thing about Aladdin, about apparently that, like, not NC-17, but apparently he improv so much on that there could have been like a rated R version of Aladdin too.
Yeah, I mean, luckily that's just an animated movie, so he couldn't show his penis. But
He tried. He tried.
All right, I'm pulling this up. I'm also not going to lie. I, for the longest time, thought Nathan Lane was in Mrs. Doubtfire, and I'm now learning it's Harvey Firestein.
Yeah, I fucking nailed that, dude. I couldn't be prouder of that. The only thing I'm more proud of on this episode is that woman cried in her Amazon car. Or Amazon van. That's the only thing that makes me more proud than knowing Harvey Firestein.
Being excited that you made her cry is the part that makes you a monster. We're just gonna say that. Right?
I know, but that's not what I was on trial for. It was just the actions, not the joy that I received from it. So, anyway, I would love to see this, but the interesting thing about Mrs. Doubtfire is it does not pass like the wokest muster already.
Oh no, I'm sure that, yeah.
Yeah, even this clip is called "Could You Make Me a Woman?" We're gonna get canceled in Seattle for playing this clip right here.
Daniel, hi.
That's
You
Harvey
make me
Fire.
What's up, Harvey? I see you, Harvey.
Honey, I'm so happy.
With that fucking scratchy voice.
I knew
Yeah.
you'd understand.
By the way, the face, when the
Just
face
remember,
comes
don't
off of him
mind, just
and that
relax.
gets run
Are you
over is
sure?
one of the creepiest
Just remember,
things in a
pain is
movie
beauty.
ever.
Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath. Instant eye lift. Wow.
And you'll never see the strings. They'll be under the wig.
The man has 5 o'clock shadow at 8:30 a.m. and you're worried about strings?
All right, we'll start with makeup.
I'm not gonna
Okay,
wax.
this might be enough
Don't
unless
worry,
we
we'll
skip.
just
Let's
lighten
skip
it.
into the
Yeah, I don't
song.
think.
Feel like
Yeah, I was about
We
to
can
say
skip-
what we need to see here. Yeah.
Give me
We-
10
we-
seconds
we
of the song
skip?
and then.
I don't know. This will scare the children. Do they so? I don't know. Maybe this was too much for them.
I think we have to go to the next
Boy, that's
level.
cancelable.
Latex.
Oh, it was such a shanda. I should
Oh,
never buy
cancelable.
goodness from a
He's-
boil. It's so chewy. No, I feel like Bobby. This is not
You know this isn't working, but don't worry. It's a work in progress, and you're my brother. I will never let you be embarrassed.
God bless you.
I think we're gonna have to do the entire thing.
All right,
But look,
we're gonna
it's
put
nice
more
thing,
stereotypes on you. Let's see.
Yeah, let's.
Matchmaker, matchmaker,
There we
make
go, here we
me
go.
a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a bowl of butter. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
It's not working.
All right, I think
Hold.
we've
Hold.
made our point.
Shall
We've
we
made our
just hold
very
Yeah.
strong
it?
point.
He did something weird, man. That's all it is. He got all like fucking. That dude's like a tornado, bro. Whenever he gets going, like, there's no telling what he fucking said or did.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, I don't know if he was then, but he was like a big Coke guy at one point. So I could see him going a little wild.
He
I do
always
think-
had the spirit of Coke, even when he wasn't doing Coke. So, like, yeah, I don't know how much that matters.
The scene that I think that would actually get them in the most trouble now is the way they
The premise of the movie.
Well, yeah, he is like a child abductor, like stalker, like every crime that like that movie is about a guy who's got multiple felonies on his
Yeah.
However, the scene that I think would get the movie in trouble is the scene in the bus where the bus driver wants to fuck him and he gets like all weird about it. Like I think that's the scene that would make everyone mad now, not all of the stuff that we just saw where he's he plays like a Puerto Rican woman and then a Jewish woman and then Barbara Streisand. Like,
Bro, that was ridiculous. They're like, here's his big ass nose. He was like, I know exactly what to do. I know what stereotype you need to hear from me.
if they did an Asian or black woman, that movie would be that movie would be past NC-17.
Right.
You could only show that in France now.
Yeah.
You act like Soul Man was not a movie we released in the 80s, though.
Well, first off, 1993 is not the 80s. Also, Soul Man. Who is Mark Watson? We don't care about. That's the guy who played him.
Soul Man? Let me see.
Is it C. Thomas Howell? I believe it's C.
Think you're
Thomas
right.
Howell. See,
It's,
part of the reason
Soul
is
Man
because-
is the Soul Man's the like taking the pills to make your skin darker or whatever
Yeah,
that movie
Soul
is. Yeah.
Yeah, to get his
Okay.
college scholarship.
Yeah. I remember
That's
they
written by a
like used to
white woman.
replay that on like Comedy Central and shit like that. Like I remember watching that as like a kid, like it just coming on TV.
Did you guys ever watch the movie Blood In, Blood Out?
No.
They had a guy that you were supposed to believe was Mexican. He was supposed to be half Mexican. And they called him Milkweed because he was like blonde hair, blue eyes, the whitest guy. Have you ever seen that movie, Kevin?
No, I have not.
Wow, I got you on Blood In, Blood Out and Harvey Firestein today. I've never
You
pitched a
need to
strikeout.
start a movie podcast next.
I was about to say you get Kevin's podcast now. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
Or are you just naming the 4 movies you see?
We've played for Pink Slips. Yeah, dude. Today, the 4 pitches I have, you swung and missed at. So, all right. I would love to see it. I wish that would exist. It would exonerate all of the weakness of coming to the number 2 America. I would love to see an NC-17 cut of that. Also,
Yeah.
all right. I think you got to rip the tiger's head off or something to make that happen.
Yeah. I wonder
So-
if you could get an NC-17 just by swearing, though.
I think you
Oh.
gotta show like real life gore and penis.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking gore and nudity. Like it has to be
What were those movies? There were always those movies that they were like real sex happened in this movie. Like they depict real sex. I think Chloe Savini or whatever, however you pronounce her name, was in one.
Brown Bunny?
Oh, like that wasn't
That's
at the top
good that
of
I
your
know that
Rolodex?
one right off the top of my head. That's cool.
Oh!
Oh, we're back into my wheelhouse now.
Let's see. I'm
He's
gonna see if
getting
I
his
can
show back. He's getting his show back on these.
Wow. Let's see if we got an NC-17 rating on that. I don't. Maybe it's
I mean, you get like
unrated.
Al Pacino's Cruising, where he plays a cop like cruising gay pickup spots. That I think was NC-17.
Let's see. Brown Bunny rating. It does not appear to have a rating from what I can see, so we're fucked. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's-
like Showgirls, Evil Dead, those were all NC-17
Was Showgirls NC-17?
when it
I think
first
it
came
was.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Oh,
you're right.
okay.
Yeah.
but apparently Clerks was. So
Oh, really?
maybe you can get it just with language.
Well, there's that whole fucking a dead guy thing. And
Oh,
Clerks.
and Team America got it for puppet fucking.
Yeah.
Those have to be like special cuts, though. That's not what was in the theater.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, Mrs. Doubtfire, different dark story. I
Dirty,
guess,
dirty Doubtfire.
What do you want to talk about, Chase? I think you actually might be responsible for the rest of these topics.
Oh no! I wanted to hit on one of yours. How you feel about UFOs, bro? You and Baker Mayfield are sitting out in a field and looking at UFOs, or what?
Well, is that my topic or is that?
No, that
Kevin's?
was me.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
Kevin did that. Damn!
Shit, look who actually paid attention to a sports
Snuck
story.
on in there.
Wow, Kevin, tell us about it.
So Baker Mayfield, apparently March 4th, went
Hey,
on
hold
Twitter.
on. What team and position does Baker Mayfield play for?
Chicago and quarterback.
Ooh, close. Cleveland.
1 out of 2.
Damn. I didn't
You
check
answered it
my
with
notes
confidence,
before
though.
this, but I knew it was a quarterback because the immediate thought I had is he went on Twitter, said that he and his wife saw a UFO, and then immediately people started trying to shut him down. And he did not repent. Like the whole time, he's like, "No, I know what I saw. I'm not crazy." And my first thought was, a dude that gets hit in the head as much as a quarterback in the NFL, maybe we should question what you see. And then my second thought was, what quarterback would I trust? If they told me they saw an alien, which one would I trust the most?
I think the fact that Baker Mayfield sees UFOs might explain some of his late game decision making.
For sure. I also like that it's like a family, like they're together. Like his wife is like, "No, we saw that shit." Like she's like, she's the same way with them. Like they're like, "This is a stance as a family. There's aliens. We saw it." Like,
yeah, that's true. I already know my wife would be saying like, "Shut the fuck up about the UFO already, Jesus."
Right? Yeah. Like, why would you have to tell anybody? Why would you tell anybody that? Why would you tell them that?
She'd make you wait 45 minutes and then be like, "Are you sure you saw a UFO?
Yeah,
You changed your mind about how you saw that alien?"
yeah, for sure.
I looked it up. They describe it like Independence Day, like whenever you fucking took out the White House. Like they're like, it's a big beam of light came down. Yeah, I don't. It wasn't even like, "Oh, we saw something flying around." They're like, "No, the Earth illuminated for 5 seconds, and we were the only two that saw it." Like apparently Baker was like trying to get like, "Right, Twitter family, we all saw the UFO, right? Give me," and everybody was like, "No, dude, I can't believe you're a quarterback of a team."
You want to read
Yeah,
it? to
there's
us, Kevin?
the tweet.
Yeah.
So he said almost 100%. M and I, M being his wife, Eminem. M and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards Lake Travis. Anybody else witness this?
Who's with me? Anybody else see a leprechaun? We all saw a leprechaun.
I like how he does take to Twitter for like a local thing that happened. He's like, "These people watching me all will have my back."
Have you ever seen anything weird? And I hesitate to say like an alien, but do you have any? I mean, Chase is from Louisiana. Kevin actually, I believe on my podcast, revealed that he grew up in like the home of a former murderer, or I guess once a murderer, always a murderer. You know?
Always, dude. That sticks with you.
Is that right? Is that what? Do I have that detail right?
I lived like right up from where he was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I saw when I was a kid, I remember this being very embarrassing, but this podcast has become a revelatory. I have bad shoes and yell at ladies. And I also, when I was very young, saw the shadow of essentially like a walking snowman in my house. And I was like, that's a ghost. That has to be a ghost in my house. It doesn't make any sense. My sister didn't even walk yet. My dad is not 3 feet tall with 3 graduating spheres.
He's not a snowman.
He's not a snowman. I can attest to that. And I pretty vividly remembered it. Who knows what it was? It might have even been a dream, obviously. Like I'm a kid and I'm a rational adult now who can say that like I was not a rational child. But do you guys have any memories of seeing something that you couldn't explain?
I don't really have any stories that like it's just accepted in Louisiana though. Like there's like people go to like there's like haunted plantations, which they all should be haunted. And like there's a place called like the Myrtles where people fucking go. It's like a fucking bed and breakfast, and you get scared shitless at night. And everybody comes back and tells the story of the time the lamp moved and it rained at night and it scared you and stuff. But yeah, I've just never really like, I guess believed it. So anything that I saw like that, I just always like kind of took it as just, something weird. I must not seen that right or whatever. But yeah, I definitely don't have like one where it like stuck to me or anything.
Yeah, I used to think I saw things at night, and like I think that I saw like ghosts or demons, and then it turned out it was a seizure disorder, and the doctor was just like,
Whoa.
"No, your brain's
Jesus.
fucked." So that was my fun experience. I learned there was no magic in the world, and then I can't go on any rides in Disneyland. So,
Wow.
Wow, dude.
Quite a revelation.
yeah,
Can you fly? What is this? What's it called?
it's just with epilepsy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did not know you had epilepsy. I would not have hired you for free. I guess we should be paying you.
Yeah. That's why I run the light. I just pretend that I can't see it. It strobes too much.
Good call.
That's a
Or
good
you
move.
just start flopping on stage, I guess. If you ever want to do extra time, just tell your jokes laying on the stage. Oh, please don't come after us, epilepsy folks. Epilepsy, Twitter, and or oh my God. Are you guys religious at all? Are you both atheists?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm an atheist and I became an atheist very young, but there was a point in my life where, like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, I wanted to believe that God existed. And this would have been in the time, interestingly, that I probably would have told you that I believe in God. I was like 6 years old or something like that. I truly became an atheist at like 7 years old, which
Wow.
which I don't think is that bad. I one time told my mom, I was like, I really appreciate that you and Dad never pushed religion on us. And her literal response was, I kind of wish we would have taken you to church at some point. And I was like, I'm literally praising your parenting right now. I'm giving you some of the, yeah. And she's just
like, I don't know. I just don't know if we did everything. My problem was I had too much religion. Like my, I think I explained this to you. Like my parents had me, they divorced by the time I was in kindergarten, they both had remarried and are with those people. On one side was a Catholic family. The next weekend, I'd go to Baptist church. And I did that back and forth. And I just got too much information because then I started to hear like how shit didn't match. And I was like, why is this so it's the same book. Why doesn't it? And then later, my Catholic family became non-denominational, like Holy Spirit, speaking in tongues, mega church type shit.
Oh, shit.
And so then I got to see that side of it. And then by the time I was 18, I was like, yeah, I don't believe any of this. Like, there's no way. I have 3 examples to look at and years of studying and being forced to go. And I'm looking at the work. I can't show the work. But yeah, I would fucking love if there was, though. That's the thing. Is like, I'm not like one of those. Yeah, I'm not one of those atheists that are like, yeah, I just fucking die and I turn into dust and I become a tree or what the fuck ever, my energy or whatever, all that shit. Dude, I would fucking love if there was like a dude whenever I died that was like, what's up, bro? It's a party now. Like,
Kevin made me watch this comedian today. And he's the 17th comedian I've heard do the joke where they're like, something, 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 and Jesus, but at least something, something's real, or something like that. Like, I've heard that punchline from 17 comedians.
Yeah, I remember Hannibal had that joke.
Oh, did he? That's such a tired punchline. But I hate, like, I'm atheist and I've been atheist for long enough that I'm like, dude, now that I think about it, I've been an atheist for 27 fucking years. I've run
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I've run out of militant, like, attitude towards it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't care to convert anyone. In fact, I think atheists should stop trying to convert people to atheism. If you don't believe there's an afterlife, why would you fucking spend your life trying to convert Christians? You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah. Dude, whenever I see like a Christian that's like actually happy, I'm so like, great. That's great for you. Like, why would I, if they figured out some kind of way in their life to have some type of belief system or make them do right or whatever, like, I'm not going to try to convince you that everything you believe in is fake. Like, that's not fun. Yeah. Do I win at the end of that? Now that I've just crushed your whole reality and your whole thinking that you've had your entire life. Now, what, I walk away happy? I just gained a teammate? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you like in Christianity you do stuff to gain like favor with God, and atheists are so stupid that they don't realize that they're doing the same thing but to know God. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're trying to gain like I just hate missionaries is what I've realized. I don't really give a shit about religion or not religion. Missionaries of any type, I'm fucking out on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
not-
that's such bullshit. You're gonna go to some fucking other country whenever your like city is tore the fuck up. Like, why don't you go to a goddamn homeless shelter and volunteer there? You gotta go to Africa and talk to a bunch of people that don't speak our language, that don't have a belief. Like the whole thing is like you whenever you tell somebody about God, now they know about God. Like that's the way it is. And now they have rejected God. You're just going around and sending people to hell. Like that's all that is. You're just walking them going, have you ever heard about God? No. I'm going to tell you about God. Oh, you don't understand? Now you're going to hell. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing as a missionary walking around and putting up pictures on your Instagram.
But in the same way, like the people who want like a Satanist statue at City Hall or whatever, like, come on.
I got no room for them either. Yeah.
Give me a break. Like, come on. I don't like Satanism is like barely real. Come on. Like this is the shithead point making thing. I don't like that either. That's no good.
I just realized I don't want to hear anybody's beliefs. That's what it is. Everybody keep your shit to yourself. Okay. I don't want to hear if you want it. I don't want to hear if you're against it. I don't want to hear if you praise Satan. All that shit is for you.
Hey, are you guys gonna watch baseball this year?
Yeah.
I know I sounded like I was leading into something more, but we don't have that on our thing, I don't think. And we have March Madness on there, which will continue to go on for a couple weeks. And I don't want to be greedy with everyone's time, but I've realized. So I watched last year, like 11 innings of baseball, the whole season, which
I
there
didn't
were
watch
only
much
like
last
45 innings the whole season,
Right.
Anyway, but like 4 innings of the Mariners. I canceled cable. This is the smartest thing I ever did, by the way. I canceled cable in April when the season got postponed.
Mhm.
And I was like, the only thing I had cable for that I can't watch on like YouTube TV is baseball. And then there was no baseball for 4 months. And I think that I'm going to end up with MLB TV this year and a VPN. By the way, if you're out there trying to figure out how you can watch your local team, get a VPN. We should get a VPN sponsor is what we really need. But so yeah,
I'm
are
all
you
for
guys gonna
that,
watch
dude.
baseball?
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
Kevin, here's what I want to see. Somebody, if you're out there listening, can you compile Kevin's level of interest in this podcast on episode 1 and compare it to episode 6? Because he's getting worse every episode. I had to put Chase on my.
I'm multitasking like 9 things.
I had to put Chase at the level of me so that when I'm looking at me talk, I see Chase and not myself bombing with Kevin every time I talk.
Look, you should know not to look for me for affirmation. It's basically a mirror of you. No,
But I
here's my
fake
deal.
laughing
I
all
would
the time.
totally watch baseball. I don't feel like I understand the game in any meaningful way. Like I grasp the general way of points getting accrued and whatnot, and what is good and bad. I just feel like I have no like understanding of the flow of the game, so it just gets incredibly tedious. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're just gonna do this 10 more times or 10 more innings worth. Okay, I'm good.
It's not that many usually, but okay. I got you.
Point made.
Given
He
your
said he
point, you
didn't
made the point.
understand. He said he didn't understand.
But yeah, but like I feel
Yeah,
like
I mean, I'm gonna
need
watch
to.
some. I'm gonna I'll hold on. Siri thinks I'm talking to her.
We're just like waiting around for
Yeah, for me to
Jason
exit that
Siri
out.
to come.
Yeah, because while I'm going, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Siri's like, "No, well, now you are talking to me, you asshole."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I didn't watch much last year. I definitely have fallen off year to year with baseball, but I like because I didn't watch it much last season. I'm like, I want to get into this season and actually watch more games. But yeah,
Do you have
it's
a team that you care about?
I grew up an Atlanta Braves fan, but my heart, I'm like conflicted because I hate the Falcons so fucking much that I don't know if I can pull for any team from Atlanta. And so it's like poisoned me on that. And then all the, like Chipper Jones is my favorite player. I grew up like watching the Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox pitching rotation. And so like but all that's gone, like they're all
Mhm.
gone. There's no, like, I didn't like stay really like with them. So, I mean, there's only a few, like Freddie Freeman I'm attached to. I like Acuna, obviously. But like, I don't like keep up enough to like have attachment to these guys. So then it feels weird. And then I remember that they're from Atlanta. And then I can't do that now. And yeah, so I'm waiting on the Mariners to like, I'm kind of a free agent and I'm just waiting to jump on a bandwagon.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of I guess I'm just pulling for players now. I'm just looking at Mike Trout's baseball reference page every day and and just doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think the Mariners are going to be picking up your if you're not in now, like it's going to be a while. Like I inherited this bullshit team. Like I had like a casual fandom of the Cubs, which was really cool a couple years ago. But has been on both ends of it just completely disappointing, right? Besides the World Series year, just very disappointing. And even with Epstein, it's managed to be disappointing. Epstein is a general manager, not the other Epstein.
Right. Yeah.
Kevin.
Please clarify.
For Kevin, that's for you.
Kevin perked up.
Really
so-
hoping
Kevin's like, ooh, I want to reopen that trial from earlier.
What's going on with Epstein? I saw the Cubs win the World Series at Comedy Underground during the little bit of time where they had a TV in the green room.
In the green room.
In the green room.
Whoa.
Me, Mike Maserati, the girl he was dating at the time, all watched in there. Yeah, like the show had been over for like an hour. We just stayed there and watched it again. Yeah.
Because the game 7 was it game 7 or game 6 went into extra innings, and
Such a good game.
Yeah, and I was supposed to be on the open mic at Tacoma Comedy Club, and they had a thing back then, like if you don't cancel 24 hours in advance, you're
done here.
You're suspended, right?
Yeah.
And I, luckily, for the love of God, was texting the owner of the club because he knew I was a Cubs fan, and he's like, hey, are you watching this game? And I'm like, of course I'm watching this fucking game. And then I was like, the game will be over at like 7:30. The show starts at 8 at the time. I'll be fine. And then it lasts until I'm like, just get a convincing lead, Cubs, please, and I can go do this open mic. And then I'm like texting people at the club. I'm like, can you put me like the second to last spot, please? Because I'm watching this game. It's been fucking 100 years. Please, can you put me? And they did that. And then I still didn't. I went to the club after it was over to talk to them and be like, hey, I'm sorry. But this, if you got to suspend me for 60 days or whatever, I understand, but it was worth it.
Have you heard of the Chicago Cubs and what they've been through? Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I also, during that series, was at a place. I did a thing today that was kind of fun. I used to keep this spreadsheet of shows that I did that were booked. I still do it for paid shows, but I used to do it for like any book show that I did. And I pulled up the first 3 years of book shows that I did and then just went through to see how many of those shows no longer exist.
80% of them?
Oh, at least. Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah. But I remember one of them, I was at the show in game 4 is going on TV. So like the very small crowd, 80% of the people are like, holy shit, the Cubs are in game 4 of the World Series. Let's watch that instead of this asshole on stage. And I'm like, I'm with you. I would rather be watching that than me also. I'm just looking at Kevin to see anything. And I feel like he felt the pressure of me looking at him and just smiled.
Little smile for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sympathize with every audience that does not want to watch it.
Is there anything specific you want to talk about at March Madness though? I did fill out a bracket this year, but it was because my friend was hounding me to fill out a bracket, and so I let CBS. The only thing I did is I think I moved USC further than CBS had them, and I know USC has like one.
Yeah, they got
games.
Yeah. More so just that, like, I guess the only thing I really want to say is, like, I watch college basketball like no other sport. There's no other sport where I don't pay attention to a fucking single thing the
Yeah.
entire, like, not even, like, even if I don't, like, we were talking about not watching baseball last year, I still knew what was going on. I still was checking
Mhm.
stuff. No idea. My fucking LSU was the 8th seed in the thing. I'm watching game one. I'm like, who's on the team? Let's find out who's on this team I've been pulling for my whole life. Yeah, I don't do that with any other team. But then also, it was just this year is really strange with all the upsets. So there's 4 or 5, like 10 seeds or higher that moved on. And I saw a story about that Loyola Chicago school or whatever that has that 101-year-old lady that like prays for him or whatever. And she like she prayed before one of the games and like put in like a scouting report for them, like in her prayer, like in the prayer, like mentioned that they don't shoot 50% from 3-point, or they don't shoot 50% from field goal. They don't shoot 30% from the 3-point line. So that we should be able to handle this, Lord Jesus. Like she literally put like analytics into her prayer.
She's got like RPI. She's like they or not. Or no, RPI is they had like PER. You know that John Hollinger's
Right.
got PER. That's so funny.
Yeah,
I saw this stat that Syracuse has like they're like 17-4 in games where they're the underdog in the tournament or something like that.
Yeah, every time they advance in the tournament, they're like a double-digit seed. Like that's just what they do.
That Jim Boeheim has a real future as a coach, I say.
It's gonna be all right. His son is like the best player on the team, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's like Buddy Boeheim is balling out there.
I remember that team really well because my mom worked with this dude from Syracuse, and he would just send my mom shit from Syracuse to give to me because he knew that I liked sports. And so I followed that like Carmelo Anthony, Hakeem Warwick, Jerry McNamara team pretty closely. And Jerry McNamara just like never became an NBA player.
Yeah.
There was the other team like that was these guys all like that Maryland team that had like Juan Dixon, Steve Blake, Chris Wilcox, somebody else. They had like another big man. I can't remember who it was, but those teams that I just like, it's so weird to think of the teams that I knew like the entire fucking roster. And now, dude, like the Washington Huskies, I think I can tell you a couple of the players that are probably going to be. And by the way, speaking of a team that does fucking nothing with NBA talent, they have constant NBA talent and have missed the tournament so many times. What a garbage team. But anyway, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Where like I will get into it historically. I will get into it like in March, right?
Yeah.
Especially like when I was growing up, it was really difficult to watch Pac-12 basketball on TV. Now it's like they have the Pac-12 network, but that's pretty new, like in the last 10 years. All right, should we end the podcast there? I feel like Cavin's been done.
Good, man.
It's an hour and 8 minutes long. Cavin's been done for 90. So, Kevin hates it.
I try to respectfully listen and learn from you both, and this is what you do me with. All right.
I will be in Boise, Idaho with one Gabriel Rutledge this weekend at Lounge at the End of the Universe. If any of the faithful few listeners of this podcast are in Boise, and then next weekend, the weekend after, I'll be at Oklahoma City Bricktown Comedy Club and then Tacoma Comedy Club the weekend after that. At DKC McLean on all social media and dkcmclean.com for future stand-up dates.
At Chase_Myers on Twitter. I'm going to be at the Chalet Theater in Enumclaw, where Kevin just performed on April 9th. I'm also going to be doing some in Looney Bin comedy clubs in April. The 14th through the 17th, I'm in Little Rock. The 21st through the 24th, I'm in Oklahoma City at the other club in Oklahoma City. bucketsofduckets.com. I have another podcast, comes out every Monday.
Oh yeah, I have a podcast called Nobody Likes Casey McLean, which includes Kevin's included in the group of people that don't like Me.
Yeah, and you can find me at cat_a on all the social media. I'm a comedy on the 8th and April 11th for pirate comedy, we don't know anything about.
Did he cut out completely for
He
you?
cut out on me too. Yeah, he cut
The
out on
one
me
chance
too.
he had to
The
get
whole
any
thing.
benefit from this podcast.
The whole thing.
I'll say it. I think I know most of it. He has a podcast called By Its Cover with his wife, Bree Eggleston. Say your dates again. Maybe you're clear enough to say your dates.
The 28th for Roastamania, and then the 11th for Pirate Comedy at Tacoma Comedy Club.
All right. Bye, everybody.